and circling. And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, on a special Monday. I have a special guest. We're going to talk injuries. We're going to talk some wonderful things because I am on with Coach Desi. Be right back.
Turn it up, Jado.
And what's up, everybody, at 6 p.m. on the East Coast. I know it's a little late for me, boy, but we are excited. Lots of things happening, lots of things dropping. And let me shout out right now, my guest. You can see her on such shows as Eric Crocker, Locked On 49ers. She is a little bit of anything and everywhere for everybody. Most notably, her show, Girlfriends and Football Podcast, with her buddy Beth, who likes the Buffalo Bills. So we're going to give her a little. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Coach Desi. Coach Desi.
Hey.
A round of applause. Where's my applause meter? That I gotta shout out Coach that this is my little buddy here, man. He always through for me, and it's like, hey, you know, every time there's makes time for us. She's a empty nester. You're on your way to Portugal. Portugal.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that. We gotta open up with that.
Yeah, so it takes a whole lifetime, it feels like, to raise up some kids. And so once they flee the nest, you got to pat yourself on the back. So the husband and I are heading out, and we're going to enjoy some time away. And we will miss the first game. Unfortunately, we won't miss it. We'll be watching from overseas for sure. Yeah. But we need this.
Is he Portuguese, or was just this a dream destination? Y'all just wanted to go there?
So honestly, we got married, what is it now, 22 years ago. Mm-hmm. And we had a delayed honeymoon to Italy. And then our next trip after that was supposed to be Spain and Portugal. And then I got pregnant with my firstborn. So that trip has been like nearly 20 years in the making. So
Italy is the place of love.
Yes.
You can stir the emotions.
Yes.
Good food and obviously a good time.
Yes. No, we're excited to go, but I'm happy to be here. Getting on with you. I haven't chatted with you in a while. We're coming up on Niners football. So we're all in all the fields right now. There you go.
You know how it is, Coach Desi. We gotta get it in, man. It's seasonal, it's cyclical. The burning off of humidity, the air gets a little thinner, the fresh cut grass, and it is football season. We've ended our preseason. I'll get to all of that later, but hey, it's time I titled it Black and Blue Monday, because boy, the Turk will come and see you when you get that knock at the door. Coach wants to see you and bring your playbook. Oh, it's like, oh yeah, that's the one you don't want to hear. Coach wants to see you and make sure you bring your playbook. Oh, that's when it's rough. And we're going to get down to 53 tomorrow in exactly not 24 hours, maybe a little less. We're going to know some serious things. Coach, I wanted to bring you on because we are once again in rashes of injuries. And it just seems like this all the time. I had Johnny Dale, where it said Adam Schefter put something together. Johnny Dale's, there it is. He posted something from Warren Sharp, and I'm going to share the screen. And sometimes you feel like it's just you. It's us. We're cursed. But other people tell me, man, we got injuries too. But here is an interesting piece of artifact here. I hope everybody can see that there. The San Francisco 49ers, going back to 2018, we were the fourth most injured In 2019, the sixth most injured when we went 13-3, lost the Super Bowl. 2020, we were the number one most injured team, and that was a bad year. 2021, third most injured. In 2022, the ninth most injured, and we lost to the NFC championship game to the Philadelphia Eagles. Y'all remember Brock? The rest is history. In 2023, 29th most injured, and we had a Super Bowl loss in overtime. But back in 2024, we were the number one most injured, and coach, we back there again. We back there again. A lot of the injuries, I feel, are soft tissue injuries, and I wanted to get your perspective on some of the preventative measures, as well as tell us a little, if you could go a little bit in depth to mainly the hamstrings and the calves that were coming up. Football's a rough sport. I know ligaments and things, and bruises, breaks, they do happen. It's 100% attrition sport, but come on, these soft tissue injuries, coach, talk to me a little bit about the soft tissue injuries.
All right, Faithful, listen to me. Before we get into any of that, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a physician assistant. I've been practicing for almost a quarter century. I have a background in emergency medicine as well as orthopedics, a lot of surgical experience. But I want to remind everybody what preseason looked like last year. Remember, we had a wide receiver who was shot. Remember, we had a offensive player of the year of the NFL coming in with Achilles all jacked up, right? Like, we have seen rough days. We've got like a lot of like this little pinky little like soft tissue here, soft tissue there. So I just want to like collectively as a team of fans, we're just going to take a big deep breath. And we're going to say, you know what? It is already better than last year because we don't have those things. CMC is looking good. We got Pearsall looking better. Like we were already like, there was mental anguish, so much trauma that was happening last year with our players. We're in a different realm. So I just want to start this podcast with a little we're going to breathe through this. We can get through this. It's preseason. There's a lot of football left. So all is not falling. The sky is not falling. Now, to address your soft tissue stuff. So yeah, soft tissue is going to happen this time of year. And you know what? I was kind of talking to Steph. You guys don't know who Steph is. You need to find Steph. So Steph had reached out to me because there was a lot of images going around about the static versus dynamic stretches. And people were thinking that this has to be the reason why we're in the top 10 most injured team in the NFL over the past, almost decade or so. So I said, Steph, that's not it. Like, that's not it. Soft tissue injuries are tricky because there's so many different facets to it that could be problematic. Everything from a player's tissue, DNA, right? Like some people, like we're just born super flexible, right? But sometimes it's a level of too much flexibility and then you have instability, right? So you can be on that spectrum. Likewise, you can be on the other spectrum where you're just not flexible. That can lead to too much stress on the joint because you don't have enough flexibility to carry the load properly in the joint. So there's a spectrum there. So you have to understand that no two people are built the same when it comes to soft tissue. So we got to start at that as the foundation, right? Oh, thank you. So we'll start there. And then to build on the static versus dynamic stretching, like,
I got a couple of slides. Yeah.
Yes. So when we chat about that, you can't just come out of the gate. Now, Tara Dome, you and I are in the same age bracket.
We're in the same. I'm not as young as you, but I appreciate you.
I'm pretty sure we're closer in age than you think. But I will say this: you and I cannot just get up and go for a sprint, can we?
Oh no.
No, we will for sure snap a ankle. We will tear an Achilles. We will pop a gastric. We will tear a hamstring. We just can't do that, right? When you're younger, your tissue's fresher. You can get away with some of that. But now we're talking about the NFL. And in the NFL, you have load bearing movement, you have sharp cuts, there's lots of things happening. And so you have to warm up the muscles properly. What does that look like? It looks like every single team in the NFL, what they're doing. You're going to do a little bit of a jog, you're going to do a little bit of dynamic, you are going to do a little bit of static. So what you want to do, here we go. This is
this is my old school. This is how we came up. Henrico High, Chowan University, the old school. Line up for exercise. Captains, you up front. We're leading in stretches. All right. And my military background, we would it's called rectangular formation, move, and then we say arms downward, move, and then we're going to the first stretch is the hamstring stretch. The hamstring stretch. Ready? Stretch. 1,000, 2,000. We didn't pull hamstrings jumping out of aircraft. It worked really, really good. And here's a copy of the dynamic stretching. They jog a little bit and do the little pickup thing, and then they pull their legs a little bit, and you jog down 15 meters and come back 15 meters doing this little warm-up thing. And the scientists say it's fine, but Coach Desi, you know, I'm just going with my old gut here. It used to work a lot better with this than it did that. I could be wrong.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously you'll see. Let's put it this way. I'm in healthcare, right?
Yes,
I have been in healthcare long enough now where everybody said use ice on all the injuries. Then there was a period where they said use heat. And guess what we're back to now? Use ice. So
it's cyclical. It goes around. They bring it back like old dances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what the data shows, and this is interesting, the data shows, and just to clarify, you know, Tara Doan did a great job of talking about static versus dynamic. Static stretching is that old school stretching where you like bend down and you just hold a stretch, right? There's no movement in it. Or you do a straddle stretch, you bend down and you just hold that. Or, you know, you're just bringing your arm across and you're holding it there. That's a static stretch when there's no movement along. Dynamic stretches involve movement. So when you're doing the stretches that you have up here on the screen, these are in motion. So you're walking 1, 2, 3, and then you're going down and you're like 1, 2, 3 as you stretch that calf. Then you walk 1, 2, 3, then you lean down 1, 2, 3. So you're moving through this. This is what you call dynamic stretching. And then you have a jog at the end. I'm a track coach, so we do a lot of dynamic stretching. They go out there, they jog a lap first, and we get right into our dynamic stretches. Now, what the science shows, because I want you to understand what dynamic versus static stretching is. The dynamic stretching, they've looked at what dynamic stretching alone, static stretching alone, and static with dynamic stretching together. And what the science has shown, there was a 2023 systematic review of meta-analysis. What that type of study is they look at all different kinds of studies that have these numbers, and they try to combine all these numbers and extrapolate information from it. And what it showed was dynamic stretching and static combined with dynamic stretching significantly enhances explosive strength. So it's what are you trying to accomplish in your program and your stretching and your practice, right? You want to bring out that dynamic, that strength, all of those things, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But here's the thing. They did look at, and it wasn't in football players, but they looked at in soccer players.
Soccer. Yeah. Let me I got exactly what you are going to get into here, and you are 100% correct. The study has shown, I think this is Under Armour here. They said when you do it static stretching, they said that's more for afterwards, but dynamic will warm you up and make your performance full range of motion and contact and release your muscles to help improve flexibility, increase blood flow, and to your into your muscles, and it's supposed to be better for the performance. That's what the study said.
Yes.
Dr.
So,
Desi is correct. She wins again.
and I will tell you, this is what we do for our track athletes. So
All
we
right.
lead with like I said, a jog, maybe even like we mix it up. We do like on the curves, you jog, and then on the straightaways, you run a little bit backward, get those hamstrings warmed up. Running backwards helps the hamstrings a lot. And then you turn around. And then after that, we get into our dynamics, and then we get into our actual practice, what we have curated for practice. And then at the end, we work on more yoga, static style, a little bit of Pilates we end with. So yeah, I love that you have that. That's important. That's how we run our practices.
Yes,
But there was a randomized trial where they looked at high school soccer players, because this is important. So now we've elicited that there is some benefit to that. But this randomized trial, this study, did not show that there was statistically significant difference in injury rates.
let me hit my bell.
So
very good point, y'all. Note that it didn't show injury rates.
now that's in soccer athletes. So I'm sure there's like lots of information on this. If you go to any gym, if you go to any fitness place, they're going to base all of that stuff based on data, right? Science. And they're doing the same thing. They're not warming you up with static stretches anymore. And if they are, get you a new trainer, because that's old science. New science says that this is the better way. If you go to a fitness class, they're going to warm you up through a dynamic stretch. They don't want to sit there. But that's also because, most of the people going to those classes, Tara Dome, are in our age bracket. So you definitely can't mess around.
Well, out there in those coaching shorts and the socks with the colors on the top of them. Let me tell you something, young whippersnapper. Yeah.
Yeah. I keep joking about the age bracket. But what's interesting? So when we talk about our Niners injuries, right? And we've had a lot of slew of them. If you look at the ages, I actually printed it all up and looked at it. Mm-hmm. There's been close to like 30 people injured this preseason, right? A third of them, almost half of them were age 25 or less.
Really?
So I say that, and then I got curious. And I said, well, what is the average age in the NFL? Do you know what the average age in the NFL is?
It can't be much more than 27.
Damn, you are good. 26.6. And they're saying that age has been getting younger and younger by year. In 2023, it's 27.5. So my theory, because I was just kind of talking shop with Steph. And I said, my theory is that majority of these athletes that are getting the soft tissue injuries, especially, tend to be the younger athletes. What are the younger athletes trying to do? They're trying to make the squad, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what does practice look like for them? They're being extra. They're doing extra on everything. So their warm-ups, they're not just doing warm-ups like you're supposed to. They're doing warm-ups like they're going to be graded on their warm-ups, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They may not have the resources to take care of their body the way a Christian McCaffrey does, the way a Trent Williams does, the way a George Kittle does, right? They're not getting paid that money yet. So, I think it's multifaceted. That's what I want you to take away from this. If you see a post out there where somebody's like, this is the reason why we're all getting injured, it's wrong. Just tell you, because there's no one reason.
End all be all, quick fix, easy button. It's dynamic in its diversity, in its complications. Yeah.
Yeah. I think probably the 1 year that you quoted that we were like fourth worst injured in the NFL. I think I was on Crocker's show and we talked about this, and I brought up that I really think it could also be the brand of football that we play. We are gritty, like we are that team, right? And
that's our stamp. That's our signature, physicality.
And you got Fred Warner flying around there acting like he's playing in the Super Bowl at a practice, right? So, I mean, you're going to get injured.
Yeah, they fly around real good. Shout out to Nick Martin, who looked good yesterday, or was it the day before? Day before yesterday. He was flying around, boy, making hits, and you'll fit in well here. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
100%.
know.
So I think was it Red Jet
What
Show?
Red Jet talking about?
He asked, like, he was curious if it was really what did he say, ice or
Rice.
He said, was it
Papa J said,
or heat better?
Yeah.
So I was just gonna say that it's whatever your body responds better to. That's what I tell patients.
Really? Because I'd always heard the first 24 hours of a sprain, it needs to be ice. He used the acronym RICE: rest, ice, compression, and elevation. But is it, whatever your body responds to more in terms of a strain, a sprain, a bruise is?
So there's two different theories. The theory is that ice will vasoconstrict and can help reduce swelling and help you feel better, right? So from a pain management perspective, ice. The theory behind heat is because your blood is where your immune system is. It's where all of your anti-inflammatory properties, everything that's going to come in to help clean up and attack what's happening in there, comes through your blood vessels, right? So heat vasodilates. It expands your blood vessels and brings more supplies, if you will, to the site. Now, it's going to make you swell a whole lot more, so it's going to be more painful. So that's where, like, I'm at a stage in medicine where I literally think people actually know what's best for themselves, for the most part. You kind of know. And I've literally had people come in and say, my back does better with heat. I'm in that camp. That's why I got seat warmers in my car. But, ice, but there's people out there that are like, ice is what does better for me. So I tell patients, like, feel it out. If you can, I usually tell them at least the first 24 hours, do ice on and off. But, if people have had success with heat, who am I to tell them that their body is not going to respond that way? I think as practitioners, we sometimes tell people we think we know too much. And I think we take away the ability of patients to know their bodies. And I don't like that. So I do sometimes ask patients the same question. Well, I don't know. Have you tried it? What works better for you? It can be a dialogue. And I don't think it's going to be harmful no matter which way you go with that.
It's a lot of that old school. My mom used to recommend that green alcohol and salt. And my cousin played for the Seattle Seahawks, and he had gotten his knee banged up a little bit or something, and he asked my uncle, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to the trainer and get this new fangled, we doing a lot of stuff, electrolysis and stuff like that. He called back a little later on. He said, man, he put me in the hot tub with that Epsom salt and that alcohol.
Oh man.
He said grandma always knew. Grandma knew.
Yeah. I mean, I put my kid in Epsom salt all the time when he's, I'm like,
yes.
you in the Epsom salt for that.
Yeah, I'll get in that bath, man. Stuff like that. As fate would have it, Coach Desi, I cut that grass yesterday and I chopped some trees and stuff. And I'm gonna tell you what, man, it's like, what in the world happened? It's like my back and everything was. I had to get in that warm tub with those Epsom salts, and that it is my friend. It is my.
And see, so there, right? If someone asked you what feels good, you're gonna be like, hey, this Epsom salt. All right, I'm gonna tell you to keep doing that. Then
put that Epsom salt in you. Definitely. I was going to get into, some of the stuff is a little bit more serious, and we hear a hammy. Somebody's got a hamstring. It's been trivialized sometimes. When guys are losing in a race, they'll pull up lame and say, oh, I got a hammy. But I wanted to get into the nuances of a hamstring and the healing time for what constitutes a grade 1, 2, or 3. Can you elaborate a little bit on this. I got on one side the most common causes of hamstring injuries in football, and on the other, healing time, because soft tissue injuries happen, and it's usually around the hamstring.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great picture. I don't know, we got this from Player Scout. I mean, I think this is fantastic. So the hamstring has a couple of parts to it here, and you can see in the picture in the gray where it has the biceps femoris longus, which is the pink, and then you have the semitendinosus, which is in the blue, and then you have this green, which is kind of on the inner part of your thigh, kind of the semimembranosus. These attach down on the knee joint, and that's important to know because sometimes you can get knee pain, and really it's arising from the hamstrings. Tight hamstrings can be pulling at that insertion site. So, so that's the anatomy of the hamstrings. Now, when you talk about in soft tissue injuries, they're usually graded 1 to 3 in most cases. And so if you look to the right here, grade 1 is very mild strain. So it's just kind of a pull. You kind of tweaked your muscle just a little bit. Not really a tear. It's more just a soft tissue injury without a tear. That would be a grade 1. So those are the ones that will come back fairly quickly. I agree with the 1 to 3 weeks. I think that's pretty on par. A grade 2, now you're talking about you actually tore some of the muscle fibers. And that's a little bit more serious. That's going to be 4 to 6 weeks. And then a grade 3 is a complete tear, and that's surgical intervention at that point. So that's, you know, here they have it all the way up at the insertion site on the pelvis. And that's going to take months because that's, you know, again, surgical repair, and you cannot cause any kind of tension for months because you need that to really heal in and scar quite well. Now, scarring is the problem with these hamstring injuries, and the part of it, if you get especially a grade 2, that your muscle is nice and flexible normally, right? It's malleable and mobile, and that's its job is kind of like a rubber band, right? It's to help elongate and contract. Well, when you get a tear, what fills into that tear is scar tissue. And scar tissue is not pliable. Scar tissue is like crazy glue. So we talked about this a little bit with Debo's injuries, right? When Debo has a hamstring injury, every time he injured it, it's, you know, they're going to have recurrence with when you have a tear and you don't take care of that, you got to warm up even extra than you're used to once you have a hamstring injury, because you're more susceptible to have recurrent injury to that site because of the scar tissue.
Got you.
That's a big problem with these soft tissue injuries and why they can be kind of lingering and kind of
lingering and reoccurring sometimes. I think Cowing lately, in the beginning, he had a hamstring pull. He came back, and now Kyle said at the presser after the game, he's looking at 6 weeks. So you bring up the valid point, and the very reticent point of that scar tissue is what was in there. Not good muscle, not pliable muscle, but scar tissue. And with your comparison of super glue, it's popped a little bit because it doesn't stretch like it used to. And we're looking at the reoccurring thing now with the scar tissue. Can it heal over that period of time and become back to be pliable, or are we just always looking at that? Once you pull it, it's got super glue in it.
Correct. That's it. There's no, like, you're not going to regenerate muscle in that area. You now have scar tissue.
Wow.
And so that's where, again, you learn to adapt. You learn to warm up even longer than you normally would. The body's incredibly adaptable, but you're talking about, we've only got a few months of the football season. How quickly can you get that healed before you're back on the field doing destruction again, right? So that's the difficulty with soft tissue, and almost why I was like, every year you can expect Debo to probably have a little bit of a hammy situation, because
that hammy, man, that hammy boy, it'll get you. Lately we got Jauan Jennings, who has a calf injury, also a contract injury. But
Exactly.
but it begged to bear comparison too, because last year we were talking, or the year before last season, Christian McCaffrey, it started off with the calf, and then it was
But
like,
did
no,
he?
it ain't coming back. Are we looking at more down the line, because it seems a little long for Juwan? um let's talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit.
So you just triggered me because we all have PTSD as Niners fans, right? Like we were told it was a calf. And I questioned it a little bit because I was like, is it a calf? Because I mean, calves should bounce back by now. And I was concerned even then. And I think, I don't know, Chris, if you're still listening, I saw that you popped in. What's up, my friend? But I think he was one that was like, I don't know if I was in his space or where it was, but I was like, I'm actually concerned about his Achilles. And boom, finally, then it came out that it was his Achilles. And then it was like this whole thing. And so I'm triggered because, again, here we are. Juwan Jennings. Listen, I have a Juwan Jennings t-shirt. I was ready to be
Oh, that's my
loving it
dude.
this season.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that my
it's my
guy.
shirt this season.
Yes.
But, and I don't want anybody to take what I'm saying and run with it. But to your point, they told us it was calf and it ended up being Achilles. And here again, I don't want to be told it's a calf and learn that it's actually an Achilles. So the calf muscle, as you can see here, again, thank you so much for this. Yes.
My crack skills of going to the internet. I got a PhD in Google.
Listen, rock with it because this is great. So as you can see in the picture, you have your gastrocnemius, the lateral head, which means it's the part of it that's on the outside part of your legs. The gastrocnemius, the medial head, which is the one that's closer to the inside part of your legs. The soleus, and then the Achilles. So your calf muscles morph all the way down into, and you can see this beautifully on the right side. You see the gastroc and how it continues on down and becomes the Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
So that's where they were like, it's a calf, because the calf turns into what? The Achilles.
The Achilles, yeah.
And so I will tell you, fun fact, and this you can run with. If you see a player who walks on their toes, have you ever seen toe walkers? They're actually tremendous athletes, and they're usually very, very fast because they have a really, they're already like, that's what running comes from, is the spring.
That's what I have huge calves, and I was a toe guy. I'm up on my tiptoe. I was getting reps as I'm walking, and now my calves look like, I'm known for my calves, ladies and gentlemen. I really am. They're pretty nice.
Okay, I love that, but you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say.
I know. Go ahead, give it to me.
People who walk on their toes are at higher risk for Achilles injuries.
Oh, don't say it.
So just be careful. Again, we're in that age bracket, Terradome. You definitely hook up with your dynamic stretching before you do anything.
Yeah, it's not so much the toe now as it is the ball, and now I'm rocking that thing all the way. I'm trying to use it all and
you get the whole thing
as I go. Yeah.
Get them stretches in. Stretch that Achilles. Stretch. Those calf stretches are key. So here you have pictured, again, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 tear. Again, this isn't rocket science. Your first one, there's no tears of the fibers. It's just an overstretching of the muscle. Again, probably 1 to 3 weeks, if that, depending. A grade 2 is now you're talking about a tear. Now you're talking about some time. And then a grade 3 is a big tear. You can even rupture the gastric head, and honestly, they'll tell you. So again, it happens to us in our age group, Terradome. You'll feel like somebody shot you in the back of the calf with a BB gun.
Yeah, I was out there playing basketball. I thought somebody threw a baseball on the court. I'm bringing it down. I'm bringing it. If Ellison if he's on there with my son, I'm bringing it. And I turned around and looked. I was like, is somebody on the court? No, no. If nobody's behind you, it's serious. It's serious.
So you probably ruptured it. Did you? Is that what happened?
I think I strained it really, really bad, and it got worse as I drove home, and it got stiffer. I couldn't even walk. I had to use one of those scooters at the food line, that the older people use, and kids was laughing at me and stuff, but it was serious.
You probably ruptured it, so you can rupture, and there's nothing to be done. I mean, you just live your life without it.
Time.
Yeah. So that, again, same situation. Now you're worried about scar tissue healing into where the muscle fibers should be if you have a tear, things like that. So I don't love to see it, but it is part of the game. It is what happens. Many athletes have it way before they enter the NFL. So we'll have to see. Yeah. I love that they reference the MJ.
I almost had a triple single. I got a triple single. Ellison, my cousin, I told her I was going to have you on, and he said, can you ask her about the rash of Achilles tears in the NBA? He said, I know it's football season and everything, but that was just, it's like 7 Achilles tears in the NBA this past year. What do you think contributed to the increase of that so much with players like Halliburton in the finals, Clay? We've seen increases with I remember KD a couple of years ago, and Dame Lillard. All of them just started busting Achilles, rupturing Achilles. Is it? You think it's nutrition, hydration, anything to that effect, or it could be all of the above, like a pie?
As we said before, it's never just one thing, right? So the question is, are they a little bit more at risk because of their muscle, just how they're built? Are they not as flexible? Are they someone who takes good care of their body? Are they doing great warm-ups? Was there something that was lingering? And I mean, this is classic sports. If you have something lingering, they're not going to be, oh, let's just take this. Let's sit you down. Like, no one's doing that, right? At that level, you are getting paid on that court.
It's playoff ball. You got to go. Yeah,
you got to go. And so, just like Christian McCaffrey, like, you get to a point where you're like, it's painful, and you're just putting Band-Aid over Band-Aid over Band-Aid. And if you don't allow that body to heal, that rubber band is gonna snap. And, is there something that could have been done in warm-ups? Is there something that could be done differently in training? It's something differently and I think it just comes down to, it's a professional sport, and you get paid to be out there. And so you are just doing whatever you got to do to get your body out there. And then Dre Greenlaw, how can I forget? Perfect example.
Yeah, Super Bowl, it started off, February 11th.
And what does jumping do? Jumping stresses the Achilles. It's that pressing off of your foot. That jumping up is that all that load comes from your Achilles, from the calf all the way down to your foot. So that's why in basketball, it's the jumping, and no one demonstrated better than Dre Greenlaw. So
man, that was hard.
Also PTSD, very much.
I put that out of my mental Rolodex, Coach.
Me too, until I just said it, and I hate myself for saying it. By the way, you posted about the Cowboys Netflix show. I couldn't get past the first episode, but then I saw your post, and you were like, episode 3. So then I watched it, and I was like, dang on, he ain't wrong. This brought back so much nostalgia.
Oh, didn't it? It was, the story of the Cowboys dynasty can't be told without the San Francisco 49ers. And Jerry Rice is in it, along with Carmen Policy and Charles Haley, which
Romanowski.
If we learn nothing else, never trade a great player to your NFC rival.
Right?
That was a horrible mistake.
But also, he peed on the on the person's desk. I mean,
Well,
I was
yeah,
like,
he had to go. He had to go. He peed on Carmen Policy's desk and said, "Trade me." But I would have traded him like the old school says. I will get rid of these players. I will trade you to Green Bay, buddy. You'll be out of here. Find a sorry team to send him to.
yes,
Anchorage,
for sure.
Alaska, Malamutes or something. Don't trade him to the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh
But
man.
it was really wonderful. Those NFC Championship games, which were they were the Super Bowl back in 92, 93, 94. It was us and them. And man, it was some good times. It was some hard times, but it was some good times. Please check out America's Team. Skip to like Coach did. Go ahead, skip to episodes 3 and 4. That's the 49er episodes if you don't want to deal with the whole Dallas thing. And another dynamic about it was I'm a Laker fan, diehard Laker since Magic Johnson with the small shorts. And I saw a lot of the same dynamic that happened with Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, that happened with Kobe and Shaq, that happened with Tom and Bill. You know, one wants credit, it's my team, and you know, I just kind of, that's my pseudo psychology idiosyncrasy mind. But it was well done. It was a good documentary.
Yeah, and Kelly, I'm with you, but I trust Terradome. He's got good taste. We tend to agree on a lot of things. So I was all right, I'm gonna, let's do it. And then I was like, oh, I love that I did this.
That's my girl.
There were still some parts that were hurt, that hurt a little bit, but
oh yes,
get over that.
Take that loss, and they say, "How about them Cowboys?" I was like, oh. You can fast forward through that. That's the brilliance of streaming.
Yes.
So, Coach Desi, this was absolutely wonderful. Is it anything else you wanted to go over in your dissertation? I think that was about all that I needed to cover. If anybody's got questions out there for the wonderful coach, man, get it in now, because she's on her way to Portugal and is going to be wearing a sombrero, probably drinking a mocktail, if you with an umbrella in it. Coach Desi is my girl. Again, y'all check, everybody within the sound of my voice, please like and subscribe to Girlfriends on Girlfriends and Football.
And football. Yes.
I will drop it in the description. Man, and they get together. They got a whole format, her and Beth, and they talk about the what they cook, and they have a drink of the week. And it is a really nice time. And ladies, all ladies, right? Just Shell, all of my ladies, and Tanisha, and all of y'all, man, you would really, really like this wonderful show. Coach is my little sister, and she's just bad, man. She's just I can't help but love her. Yeah,
no, we have a lot of fun. And Beth, if you guys don't know, Beth is a physical therapist, so we definitely talk different injuries in the NFL. We laugh, we make picks, we have drink recipes. We're really turning up this season. It's going to be our 3rd season, so we appreciate the love, Terradome, always.
And when they say turn up, they'll turn up. Thank you so much, Coach Desi. I appreciate it emphatically. I'm gonna stay on. Yeah, I'm gonna stay on. We're gonna talk about some of the players that have been cut and some that are staying. If you're welcome to stay, but I know you got a lot of stuff to take care of going over to Portugal. Do either one of you speak Portuguese?
No, I speak a little Spanish, and we are going over to Spain for a couple of days too while we're there. So it'll be I'll hit some Duolingo on my phone on the way over.
I was gonna recommend that. Hit that app. I would like this.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you taking a listen and supporting us. And it's always a pleasure, Terradome. Anytime I would love to come back and chat with you again.
Oh, the wonderful ladies and gentlemen, the vivacious, the beautiful, and always informative Coach Desi, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Desi. That my little buddy, man, Coach Desi in the hizzle for shizzle. Uh, please hit that like button, going over to her channel, hit some likes, and that'll help her algorithm out as well. And tell a friend to tell a friend. They got something happening over there. She ain't gonna be happening for a little while. They're going over to Portugal and party up. Her and her wonderful husband. That's gonna be a wonderful thing. Us on the other hand, though, we are getting it in like nobody else's business. Let me first recap on what we saw on Saturday night, East Coast. It was 8 o'clock for me, and what about 4 for you guys over on the West Coast, 4 or 5. I liked the win that we had against the Los Angeles, formerly San Diego Chargers. For 2 big reasons. We closed out a game, our second week in a row. So it's a trend now. We closed out a game with our defense and a key special teams kick at the end. I love that. I really do, because you, in this league and with our schedule, and what has been missing is we just were missing championships at the end. We couldn't finish things off. Now, granted, it was third and fourth stringers, but with their backs against the wall and with cut days looming, I think some of these guys did an excellent job, and I have to shout them out. I took notes, as you know, Terradog gonna take his notes as the game's going. I was on with I saw Callie Young over there. We was watching on Patreon with Mike Andrews and the crew. He playing spades and everything, you know, Mike, but he was still watching. But it was pretty good, man. Let's look at some of these statistics, if you will, added to the stage there. It was pretty impressive on the offensive side with Tanner Mordecai. Came in with 10 of 13 for 103 yards, 7.9 a carry, or 7.9 an attempt. Trey Lance, I was looking for him to do a little bit more. They didn't play him as much as I thought he would. He had 5 out of 8 attempts, only 38 yards. But you know something that, and I'm gonna butcher his name, DJ Uiagalelei. He used to be down here at Clemson, and you know things happened. He moved around. I think he went to Oregon and some other. He was a pretty good thrower of the ball, man. You know, nothing to write home about. He's not going to challenge Justin Herbert and you know get him thrown out of whatever, but he's a pretty decent quarterback. On the other side with us, Jeff Wilson ran that ball pretty effectively. We had some good things happening over there, and Carter Bradley improved a little bit. You know, when the floor was the ceiling, he did a little bit. But as fate would have it, we have released both of them already, so it's definitely going to be Brock and Mac McCorkle Jones for us. These two, we may bring them back after waivers and put them on the practice squad or something else, whatever would have you. But that's the latest and greatest breaking news. On the flip side of that, defensively, man, let me tell you, that daggone Nick Martin came to play. Nick Martin was out there doing the daggone thing. Nick Martin was flying around. Nick Martin, I'm going to cut up some film a little bit and try to show his, I don't want to say improvement, but it was virtually evolution, how this guy was getting around and really making his presence felt. Tatum, Bethune, Curtis 50 Cent Robinson had a pick 6, and it just it it affirmed in my gut, in my spirit, that this linebacking core, if Fred Warner didn't even play, ladies and gentlemen, it affirmed in my spirit, hey, this linebacking core got it going on a little bit. I saw Shaquille Brown do a something I just absolutely need to see: a defensive lineman getting his hands up, breaking up a short pass. We need at least one or two of them a game. And I saw some really good things. Where it got sloppy, a lot of penalties for us. Regardless if you were a fourth stringer, a third stringer, or somebody just on the bubble, whatever would have you. Good football is good football. And you need to make good plays when you have the opportunity. You got to get down with that. Who else? That's it primarily. I saw Farrell made a good play for the tight ends. And we got ran on a little bit, but it wasn't the gouging of our defense that it was a year ago. You could tell something was really, really wrong a year ago. These things can be cleaned up, and that's always a good note. Now, as I take my notes, y'all will notice I have red marks and I have green marks. The green marks were what we talked about already, but there were a couple of red marks. Our kicker, Jake Moody, yeah. I know Mike Andrews got on a lot of us last week because we had been on the kicker, but I was on with him live, as was Callie Young, and hey, he was echoing the sentiment of the inconsistency that is the Moody Blues. It's a black and blue day, and Kyle seems to think, hey, and all is well. He's good. Hey, Moody's great. You saw him kick that 59-yard, but I seen you miss a PAT. And then at the end, he boots the daggone thing out of bounds on the kickoff. The free kick, you got 53 and a third to kick it into the lane, dude. What is you doing kicking it out of bounds? Hard to miss. But nonetheless, he did. Let me see. Jair Brown didn't really wow me too much. I saw a couple of plays where we got beat up front. Zakel's just staying it. I'm so sorry. I think he's going to be on the chopping block. Let me check my notes here, because it could have already happened. Zakel's just ain't quite got it, man. There have been some releases already. Let me see here. Released and waived on Monday, the 25th of August. As I mentioned, Carter Bradley and Tanner Mordecai have been waived. Jalen Allen is gone. Shaquille Brown, the aforementioned, who had a pass breakup, they have released him as well. And running back Keyshawn Vaughn. The following players were already on the injured reserve. A list ahead of the roster cut downs. They will not play in 2025. They include Trey Brown, Andre Dillard, Taryn Jackson, Corey Kiner, Patrick Taylor Jr. He has a shoulder. Trent Taylor has a back. Trey Tomlinson expected to land on the injury list. They're going to put Brandon Ayuk on the PUP, physically unable to perform, along with safety Malik Mustafa. Quarterback, the Maple Missile, Curtis Rourke. He's on a non-football injury list. And as been well documented, suspensions coming up are Demarcus Robinson for 3 games, along with Isaac Alarcon for 6 games. I think Alex Alarcon did. I think it's performance enhancing. Yeah, so that's the latest and greatest news on there. Let me see. Kylie Young says Boyer wanted to slap Moody. Yeah, Boyer don't. He is not playing the radio. That's not Snyder over there. Boyer looks very intense to me. Boyer looks like an NCO man. He ain't having too much of the crazy stuff. But I hear from the head shed that is Kyle. He loves Moody. Moody ain't going nowhere, and we gonna ride it on out. We gonna ride it on out. Tanisha says exactly. If our defense can gel together, we will be super competitive. I am already seeing a huge difference in our defense during preseason. It is. They will rally up, man. And it seems to be a culture of energy. It's a culture of energy and a culture of guys hitting. I know Bethune didn't play in this one, but boy, he hit somebody 2 weeks ago. And welcome to the NFL. It was Genty, Ashton Genty. Boy, Tatum Bethune hit him. Woo! Them ones to make you go woo hits, as Ronnie Lott used to say. And then my man Nick Martin had one too on a kickoff. Man, he ain't playing around. It evolved to where it needed to evolve, because I know for the first preseason game, Nick Martin, I could tell you where he was at. He wanted to impress so bad with some big hits that he just was moving too fast and trying to do too much. He was DTM, trying to do too much. And it happens when you are excited rookie, you trying to get out here and do something, man. You make mistakes 100 miles an hour and they look really, really bad. But he got himself up under him. He's understanding to take his time a little bit, take his shots, good angles that were run. And, he eyes to thighs, and he was squeezing knees. He was coming with what you're supposed to come with, and that was some awesome display. Nick Martin, of course, Chaz Surratt led all tacklers with 11, so he was really, really active, and we had some good stuff. Mahoney in the backfield. Who else? Darrell Luter Jr. had a good game. Yeah, it's a good win. It's a good win. And we closed it out impressively. We didn't just peter to the end and try to just, get by or whatever. Again, I know that it is not a regular season game and we can't get credit for it on the official docket of our regular season, but it's a trend. It's a trend. When I see it 2 days or 2 weeks in a row, the trend is upward that we can win ugly. Now, we're going to have those games when we're going to have to win some ugly ones, and they're going to be slogs. But I feel better seeing us do it now when they don't count than hoping that we'll rise to the occasion when they do. You know what I mean? We're going to just stay tuned and hear some more cuts and look around the city. I mean, look around the country in terms of some of those that have gotten cut, surprise cuts, where we could utilize some people that where we're a little bit thin. Case in point, wide receiver. I'm looking at the waiver wire. I'm on with Adam Schefter, Ed Warder, and all the insider guys. And if something's out there that's surprising, hey, we might need to take a look at a couple of things because we're a little thin. D-line, I would like a nice center, but I don't think that's going to happen. But if it does, hey, yeah, get it in there. Isaiah Prince got injured, as well as I think Jacob. What's Jacob's last name? Jacob Robinson. I think he injured his forearm, so he's going to be out quite a bit. So relatively, we took a couple of more injuries, but relatively speaking, it's not the garden variety season crushing, oh, we're woe is me, how do we do that? So that's always a bit of a positive, or a little bit of a silver lining in a cloud. Other than that, I will be back tomorrow. I'm scheduled to be on with Wolfie tomorrow at 12. I will stay tuned and be looking to give you your latest and greatest information on the San Francisco 49ers as it pertains to cuts and bruises and re-signing, reshuffling. We got a strong another 24 hours here, and even past that, we're going to be making moves up to the gills afterwards, the end of the cut day, which is Tuesday, tomorrow, the 26th. By noon, we got to be down to 53. So stay tuned. Keep your hats on, keep your ears on. What is that? Terradome. If you need a co-pilot on Thursday, I got you. There go Red Jet Shell stepping up, man. Step up, Red Jet Shell. Yes, I will probably need that because I got to work Wednesday night and come on into Thursday, and we'll chop it up. I'll take you up on that offer. So I'm already set for 10 o'clock on Thursday. We're going to see me tomorrow at noon with Wolfie, and we're just going to have ourselves a good time, man. Again, everybody stay faithful. And remember, we walk by faith and not by sight. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank y'all all for coming out.